Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dissecting Now in Android channel. I'm a high school student who has been a fan of computer programming for a few years now. I happened to pick up Android development recently, and since then I've been dipping my toes into app development. There was a lot of information online thanks to the community. However, as a high school student, I still struggled when trying to develop more complex apps. This is when I found out about Now in Android, an open source project by Google which is meant to serve as a reference for how to implement clean Android architecture. By looking into the details of Now in Android, I learned a lot. More importantly, I got to see how everything fit together to bring an Android to life. Meanwhile, I decided to put what I learned into practice, to develop a usable app that mimics the functions of Now in Android for the famous Hacker News website. It was a learning curve for sure, but ultimately, I was able to use the knowledge I got from Now in Android to create and publish the Now in Hacker News app to the Play Store. I'm using it regularly on a daily basis, and I'm proud of its quality, which wouldn't have been possible without what I learned from Now in Android. So, I created this channel as a learning opportunity, not only for myself, but for those who are also interested in Android development. This channel is where I will be sharing my discoveries and experiences as I explore the source code of Now in Android. I will cover how it is designed using the clean architecture, the details of each component, and how the data flows for the app. What is clean Android architecture, you might ask? Well, it is a blueprint that developers can use to create high quality apps for Android devices. So, why would Google want to make something like this open source? Wouldn't they want to make a profit from this? By making it open source, Google allows developers to learn and create more apps with better quality than before more easily. When it is easy to do so, the Google Play Store would prosper with more useful and delightful apps. And this can help Google retain the current Android users and potentially attract new ones. This, in the long run, will keep Google in a competitive position even with the competition from other companies like Apple. So instead of gatekeeping how to develop apps and forcing people to either reinvent the wheel or simply give up completely if they're inexperienced, Google tries to empower developers with enough knowledge to create whatever their imagination allows.
So first of all, you would come into your Google or whatever search engine you use and search up Now in Android. And once you have everything shown up, you want to click on the GitHub, not Android developers. You want to click on code and download zip. And once it all downloads, you want to open it and place it in a folder where you can easily find it or know the location of. And you would click on the file, and there should be an extract thing up here where my mouse is. I've already extracted it so it doesn't show up anymore. Then you would come to your Android Studio, and it won't look like what I have now, but probably looks something like this. You would click on the open, and you would find your file and click on the Now in Android main. You click OK. And by the way, the version I'm using is Android Studio Giraffe. Um, so yeah, and once everything is loaded, you might need to update some stuff. But once everything is loaded, and you have a device set up, could be a virtual or a physical one. I'm using a virtual one. It's a Pixel 7 Pro, and you can create it by here clicking the create device and coming in here and selecting it. And once you have everything basically set up, you also want to come here from the app. You want to select app, not app NIA. That's what I had when I started, but you want to click app. Then you can click on the run, and everything should start to build. It might take some time. And you can click on the running devices to show you everything. As you can see, the app is starting to run. And once everything loads, I'll go over basically all of the functions available in the Now in Android app. As you can see, once the app loads, you can see a little scroll wheel load shown up here when it's loading everything, and now it's gone. And you also have a pop-up saying allow Now in Android to send notifications. You can click allow or don't allow. I'm just going to click allow. It doesn't really matter. And then you have here, what are you interested in? You have headlines, UI, compose, little things here of what you're interested in. You can click on it, and the thing that's related to it, articles that are related to it, will show up. You can see Wear OS, compose, headlines. There's more headlines. Color is different. If I can scroll back up, as you can see here, the headlines, it's a different color from the other ones because you saved it or you're interested in it. So it's going to show up as a different color. And we can click multiple ones, or we can just remove them all. We can't remove it all because then it won't show up. After that, we click done. We can click on settings. That's where we're going to explore next. We can see there's a theme, dynamic color, dark mode preference, and there's other things you can click on. But the theme, Android, changes, and as you can see, the dynamic color is gone now. And what the dynamic color is, it's basically the color of your phone. If you hold left click on your home screen and go to wallpaper and style, you can come here and change the wallpaper. Actually, no, not change the wallpaper. As you can see here, there's different styles. If I click on this one, you can see that the colors of the buttons changed. And if we go back to the Android app, you can see that the colors in this changed as well. And there's dark and light preferences. You can click that. I'm going to keep it as light mode. And then we have the three little buttons down here. We have the For You page. That's the stuff that recommends that you've interested in. As you can see, it's all has UI and maybe some other topic. And the saved is currently empty right now. If we click on this button right here, save, it's going to show up. And the interests, these are the places where we select the things. If we scroll down, you can see I've chosen UI. It's checked, so that means I'm interested in it. If I click on it, you can see it's following. You can unfollow. It changes to not following. But in here, we'll have topics that are related to the UI. You can see UI, headlines, Wear OS. Those are related topics that you can click on. So let's go back. And if you go on something that's not favorited or interested in, you can see it's not following. Yeah, it won't be highlighted. If we click here, click following, come back, it becomes highlighted. So let's go back to the UI page. There's a search button here. Let's, for example, search UI. You see that we're following it. If we press enter on our keyboard, the phone keyboard disappears, and you can see that it has stuff related to UI, although it doesn't say UI in here, it does in the text. We scroll down a little bit, UI here in the title, and yeah, and if we click X, you can see that the recent searches UI shows up as well. If we search something else like compose, for example, yeah, compose, it brings up related articles containing the word compose, stuff like that. And if we click on the topics, it brings us to interests, and it shows us articles related, and you can click on following or not. But if we click on the back arrow, instead of bringing us back to the interest page like it would here, instead it brings us back to the search bar. So that's also a feature. And as you can see here, you can also see your recent searches, you can delete them, and yeah. Also, the data is saved in this. So if we search up compose, enter, you see that it's still here. If we restart the app, there we go, reset app, and you come here again. You can see that the UI, it's still saved. If we click on the search, compose is still here. If we go to the saved, the experimenting with Jetpack glance that we favorited at the start is also saved. You can also see here that there's going to be a description of what the article is about. This one's a video. If you click on it, it brings you to YouTube. I'm not going to watch it, but there's other ones like this one. This one's another video. There's an article. There's another article. And yeah, basically shows you what you're going to be clicking onto. And I think that's actually it. So yeah.